Just getting over an anxiety attack, Daniel here to bring you the latest fantasy news. And before we jump into this episode and the biggest news of this episode for my fellow Wheel of Time fans, I need to add the caveat that this is unverified news. This is completely from unconfirmed sources, but those unconfirmed sources have been right in the past when it comes to casting in fantasy adaptations, most notably The Witcher. And I would also like to thank Scott for bringing me this story. But getting into it, Recapped has claimed that Rose Pike has been cast as Moiraine Sedai for the upcoming Wheel of Time adaptation. Now, Rose Pike is an incredibly respected actress. She has won many awards I'm not going to get into here, and most notably is remembered, in my opinion, from her incredible performance from the movie Gone Girl. She's also been in such films as Pride and Prejudice, Jack Reacher, and a 007 film. And for those of you wondering if she has fantasy experience, she was in the recent Watership Down adaptation, so that's fun. I actually am a fan of her as an actress. As I mentioned before, I was really blown away by her performance, especially in Gone Girl. I thought she portrayed a borderline sociopath spectacularly. And when it comes to casting her as Moiraine, I'm really okay with it. I think that's a good fit. That being said, I don't know if this is for sure or not, and I'm still staying a bit skeptical. But with all that said, she does not match the Moiraine description well at all. She's much taller and lighter coloring, but as I've said before, I do not care a spectacular amount about the physical descriptions of the actors being spot on, as long as they're within the ballpark and the acting performance is really something next level. I'm happy with it. I care way more about talent versus appearance. If they get someone who's really big, but also a phenomenal actor to play Perrin, that's all I really care about. I don't care much beyond that, aside from the fact that he looks like a blacksmith and he has a remarkable acting talent. Same thing here for Moiraine, absolutely. And when it comes to talent outweighing minor physical description details, Rose Pike certainly transcends that. I think she is a spectacular actress from what I've seen and is able to portray the cool, calm haughtiness of the Aes Sedai we Wheel of Time fans know so well, magnificently. There's also a bit of agelessness to her face. I was really surprised to find out her real age when looking at her, so honestly, there's other things lending to this as well. So I am reporting a fantasy rumor here. That's what I'll be referring to it as, I guess. There is a distinct possibility, a very real one, that Rosamund Pike will be playing Moiraine Sedai in the upcoming Wheel of Time adaptation. I'm okay with it. In fact, I would be thrilled if this was real, because she is a magnificent actress, and I just care about acting talent at this point, guys. Let's get great actors in there. But with that being said, if this is true, this means we'll be getting a lot more casting news soon in the future. And with the timeline of the adaptation and how it is going, that would make a lot of sense. It seems to be about time for them to start cranking out casting news. And this actually lends into my next bit of fantasy news, which happens to also be Wheel of Time news. Rafe Judkins, the Wheel of Time TV show showrunner, has said that there will be a What Wednesday again this Wednesday, tomorrow for you guys, 2 days for me. I have a feeling that he might have been planning to announce this What Wednesday, knowing that when he posted this, a lot of people would be asking for casting, so he would then go ahead and just dump the casting. That's even more speculation and rumor mongering than even this last bit of news was. That's just purely from me, but it's my opinion on it. All of that being said, let's jump into the wider fantasy news. There has been a Hunger Games prequel novel been announced for 2020. The fans are ecstatic. Shoshana, I saw your post on Twitter. Glad you're excited. I'll probably give this one a read as well because, you know, it's a huge franchise that does have sway and influence, and it's definitely worth paying attention to. And in a holy crap that was fast last-minute update to the Hunger Games news, it looks like a prequel movie has already been announced. Philip Pullman has released an excerpt from his second entry in the second trilogy of the His Dark Materials series, The Secret Commonwealth. And I'm not going to get into it here. Some people do want to see these things, some people don't, consider them spoilers, so I'm gonna leave it, but links, as always, in the description down below. And if you guys wouldn't mind, while you're looking down there, hit like and subscribe. Like especially really helps the video in the algorithm, and I'd appreciate the support. And transitioning into just one superhero story real quick, it looks like John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are rumored or somehow speculated to be, depending on what source you look at for this, the next Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic for an upcoming Fantastic Four reboot. The married couple has been on screen together before, and and being a real-life married couple and both good actors, they actually have great chemistry on screen together. So as a Fantastic Four minor fan, I'm very okay with this, but for the bigger Fantastic Four fans in the comments down below, let me know how you feel this fits. I personally really like John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as a couple. As actors, I think they do really good jobs and bring a lot to their roles, so I'm curious to see what the bigger fans will have to say. Matthew Aldrich, the writer behind Coco, the Disney smash hit, has been hired on by Netflix to oversee the entire Narnia universe currently in the works over there. I'm not the biggest Narnia fan, to be honest, but it is rather exciting to see someone with such high credentials being hired on to oversee another fantasy adaptation. It makes me feel, again, like the genre is getting the respect it deserves. Quentin Tarantino has said that if he does end up making, it is important that the if be in there, if he does end up making a Star Trek movie, which has been rumored for a long time now, it will indeed be R-rated. In fact, he insisted on that. I'm assuming with the constant pulling back and forth of the Star Trek franchise rights recently, that it's been affecting how this movie is going to proceed. Personally, as a Star Trek fan who really did love a lot of things about Star Trek, but hasn't been thrilled with the recent moves the franchise has gone in, I have no idea. I have no idea how to feel about this news. Cool? Maybe? Apparently, the upcoming Halo TV show is claiming to be in similar size and scope to Game of Thrones. I doubt that. This is going to be something we're going to see a lot of upcoming shows claiming in the future. Be claiming to be similar in Game of Thrones as many ways as possible, except probably the ending. And I'm sorry, Halo, you have an incredible backlog to your history, world, all these things, but it is by no means as large in scale, scope, anything as Game of Thrones. And that is a rather ludicrous claim to make, in my opinion. I haven't played a Halo game since Halo 4. Maybe they have had entire books released that focus almost entirely on world building that are way deeper than beyond the one Halo book I read that was mainly just about shoot, bang, gun things and didn't expand the world at all. Maybe, though I doubt it. All right, a quick walk back. A friend of mine has provided evidence that maybe there are enough Halo books out there that it could feasibly rival Game of Thrones in lore. Hey, Pips. But I just have a hard time believing it. I could be wrong. I'm willing to admit that. And apparently there's a lot of source material, but whether or not that source material actually provides a lot of lore is something I can neither confirm nor deny. In Quicky news, it looks like Netflix will indeed be dropping a Stranger Things mobile game in 2020. And from Quicky news, let's go ahead and jump into trailer news. Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 has been confirmed by Nintendo, and we did get a trailer, although the trailer's lack of in-depth content does make me think the game is rather early in development, and I'm too lazy to look up if that's true or not. We got the final trailer for Pennyworth Season 1, an upcoming show taking place in the Batman, so much Batman stuff, so much Batman stuff. And we did get a great looking trailer for Stephen King's Dr. Sleep. And in addition to that Dr. Sleep trailer, we did get an article as well from Esquire claiming there was some Stanley Kubrick, Stephen King-esque drama on the set of Dr. Sleep. Now, I would take this article with a massive grain of salt. These articles are always going to try and, without stating any direct falsehoods, make you believe the drama was more intense than it actually was. I'm assuming from the context of the article and what it says here directly that yes, he wasn't initially on board with Dr. Sleep being a sequel to The Shining, which it is slated to now be. And it probably took some convincing to get him there. Whether there's anything beyond that, I have no idea. And claiming it's on the same level as the Stephen King, Stanley Kubrick infamous feud, I find to be highly questionable. I don't know. I just don't believe these articles much, but there's probably like a nugget of truth at the middle. Stephen King probably did need to be somewhat convinced, and I wouldn't trust it beyond that. And that is the last news of today. Let me know what you think of the fantasy news in the comments down below. Are you absolutely thrilled for the Moiraine casting like me, or are you a bit more skeptical about Rose Pike? I think she'd be a great fit. And for the Fantastic Four fans out there, please do let me know if you think John Krasinski and Emily Blunt would be a good Reed Richards and Sue Storm. This has been your latest episode of Fantasy News. As always, if I missed any news, please go ahead and hit the Discord server, go to the Fantasy News channel and leave a link. I will be sure, if it is worth my time, to cover it in the next episode of Fantasy News. This has been Just Getting Over an Anxiety Attack Daniel here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your week. Peace! special shout out to another batch of high tier patrons. Thank you guys so much. I don't know what's caused people to just start pitching in so much, but it means the world. We have Tom Stratoitis, I hope I'm saying that right, Andrew Salhany, and Johan Lidman, and John Patrick Alexander. Oh, and another one, Brett R. James. So I hope you enjoyed me butchering y'all's names because I enjoyed reading them. I think that's just the running joke of the channel now, and everyone's okay with it. At least I hope so. Thank you guys so much. John, you increased your pledge. I appreciate it. I don't know what's caused this flood, but thank you.